Greetings, Rise of the Republic readers. I'm James R. Byrne. We meet again in what I call the Lair. And this is my writing station, or as I like to call it, the Death Star. I'm still working on it. It's not completely operational. But anyway, you may remember me from the video I made 5 months ago, where I helped James Rosone get into the stars circulating in my area of the world, courtesy of these guys. For those who don't know, street libraries are a beautiful home for books planted in your front yard. They are accessible from the street and are an invitation to share the joys of reading with your neighbors. If anyone has a book or two that they think others would enjoy, they can just simply pop it into any street library they happen to be walking past. To find one and to learn about them, all you need to do is go onto their website, check out what they have to offer, then click on the map and see where you live. There will be, more likely than not, one of these handcrafted wooden wonders nearby. And there are many indeed around Australia, from the big cities to small rural towns, from over 1,000 strong in the Sydney area, to the single one in Alice Springs, to the many of Perth on the other far end. From Horn Island at the tip of Cape York, all the way to Hobart, Tasmania. But hang on, it seems as though the reach is not simply limited to Australia. There are a couple in New Zealand and the UK, of course, but Krakow, Poland, a small town in Norway, 3 in Brazil, around 24 in Colombia, well, maybe. And there are even 2 installed in Fecktown, Nagaland, India. Wow, talk about far-reaching. And would you look at that, there are even some in the United States, with one in Chino, California, Stillwater, Minnesota, Stowe, Ohio, Woodbridge, New Jersey, and Norwich, Connecticut. Oh yes, and Thorold, Canada, on the other side of the Great Lakes. Real close indeed. But I digress. I made a whole video exploring the street libraries of my home city of Townsville. I went to several locations that I handpicked from the whopping 72 choices, scattered across the Townsville, Palarenda, and Thorangawa areas. Some were packed with generous donations, while others could have used a bit more attention, which they sure got in the end. But it was not limited to those either. I even went to the Townsville City Library and Aikenvale City Library to request a donation. Both were successful, and who was I to leave out the handiwork of an old workplace of mine? To summarize, street libraries are a window into the minds of a community. Books come and go, no one needs to check them in or out. People can simply reach in and take what interests them. When they are done, they can return them to the Street Library Network or pass them on to friends. It's that simple. And those of you who watched the video may remember that I was reserving one of the books for a very special location. And I didn't forget, it was right here for a time, until I found what I believed was the ideal place to get it in circulation. Greetings, Rise of the Republic readers. Welcome to Lake Tinaroo, a large lake on the Atherton tableland of far north Queensland. But hang on a second, James, I hear you say. What about the Corinna place? Isn't that where you said you're going to put the last book? Well, yes, but then I thought about it for a minute. Because that weekend race, that'll be the most populous the area ever gets. So a book will be sitting there for years. But I was able to find another place while scouting the area here on the Street Library map. And I think a lot more people are going to pass this one, while equally being deep within the countryside. Alright, I got the book here. Let's go. So this is the place. That's Street Library. This little library is close to the main footprint on the wall of our house in our street. Our street is a main thoroughfare into the town and many people walk past. Our house has historically been a shop and is situated on the edge of the pathway. The grandchildren and I have made it in memory of our mother and great-grandmother, now aged 87, who has advanced dementia in our local nursing home. Bet was an avid reader and would share books whenever she could. We hope there may be people who cannot get to the town library who might like to use Bet's Street Library. The cupboard was bought at our local dump recycle shop. We might add some decorations soon. Oh, that's nice. Alright, I got it here. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Very nice. That will look great next to Matthew Riley, the Jack Reacher thrillers, and all you see here. Alright, that went very well. I just met the people who run that street library, and they are very glad indeed. So there you have it. All Street Library copies of Into the Stars have been successfully delivered. Ad Astra. Or you know what? Maybe it should go somewhere in here. Yes, I'm sure it would be in another several decades' time. Greetings, Rise of the Republic readers. Welcome to New Eden. I hear the call of a cherubim, and it says, Ad Astra! Or maybe it could end up in here, next to Mariva.
Hey, you think they have any life on other planets? What do you care? You don't have any life on this one.
Hey look, I encountered the Tully. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. Oh no, there's still more to this trip. That bridge you saw me on? That was from the historic village in Herberton. A massive living museum dedicated to Australia's pioneering history, full of incredible and masterfully constructed displays, maintained entirely by willing volunteers. I would definitely recommend going there if you're ever that far up north. A town deep within the mountains of the Atherton tablelands. It's very interesting stuff. And on my way out, I remember speaking to the elderly lady at reception. I told her of what I did with the street libraries and Into the Stars and Rise of the Republic and all that, and she found it very interesting because she had a grandson who was also into that stuff, and he too was an aspiring writer, and he had also written a book, and it was called Martian Biospheres, a world of cybernetic beasts. Well, I just had to look that up and see if I could read it myself. I mean, does anyone else get a sort of Beast Wars feel to that? But unfortunately, being a small independent author, starting for the first time, meant that sales were not as good as they could have been. I imported this from England. So yeah, just like how James doesn't recommend books or authors that he doesn't read himself, this is my end of the video recommended reading. This guy developed his unique concept for this book based on his YouTube video game movies, or machinima, that he created as a teenager. After tens of thousands of views and considerable following requesting more episodes, he decided to commit this creativity to this novel. Well, how about that? This is someone that I can relate to in some ways. So there you have it. So that concludes my little street library adventure. And what a journey that was. These books have great potential to inspire imagination and creativity in the communities who read them. It's been a miserable couple of years for us all, in some form. So even the smallest action, whether it be giving a book, or creating a street library, or anything to that effect, is certainly an unexpected and welcome gesture. So be sure to like the video, because you know you want to, and subscribe if you want to see more. It's kind of like what this guy does. And I shall see you on the next adventure in whatever form that may take. Bye for now, not forever.
You know, a video doesn't have to be funny to be good. What do you think of that video? It was good.